Okay, this is just a brief video to hopefully show you how simple it can be to use Salesforce to record activity. I'm doing this on my home PC because I haven't got the ability to record it on the cooperative laptop. So there will be some slight differences, but ultimately it's web hosted and therefore it should look pretty similar. I just can't use Word. There will also be differences if you're trying to do some of this activity on an iPad. I'm not going to deal with that in this video. I just want to run with the basic stuff on the PC so that you can see how the thing works. So what I'm going to do in the first instance is I'm going to open the account for Cooper Associates, a firm of mine down in Taunton. You will notice I've got 2 copies of Salesforce running. You'll sometimes find that's actually quite useful in terms of being able to look at other information by going backwards and forwards. In this particular case, I want to make a telephone call to James Regan at Cooper & Associates. He placed a case with us earlier on this year. The firm themselves are now quite important to me, and I want to book in to see this guy. So I'm going to create a new event by pushing this button here. That new event will be an OBC visit because it's a call made in order to create the opportunity to have a full meeting. The information that the business needs us to place in this location box is very simple. It's the name of the firm, Cooper Associates. I know that's the name of the firm because I know it well enough. And I dare say when you're doing this, you'll know the name of the firm as well. So that's not anything that should be particularly difficult to find. Postcode you probably don't remember in your head. If you remember, I mentioned that I've got 2 versions of Salesforce running. How you can do this is copy, although I'm a bit cack-handed with this particular mouse, copy that that's better. I must get a better mouse. And simply drop it in there. Or you can write it down. Or when you've opened the original Cooper Associates account before you went into the individual name, you can get it from there. Either way, the postcode's a relatively simple means of getting it from one place to another. So once you put the postcode in, you need to put in the firm's SAMS ID. Now that again, well, it's not anywhere on here, so where do I get the SAMS ID? If you've got 2 versions of Salesforce open, then you can get the SAMS ID from here and cut and paste in the same way as previously. But if you've only got the one open, you hover your mouse over the name of the person you're going to see, and you'll notice that their individual SAMS ID comes up. So you can actually come down to where you're going to put this information, hover over James Regan, and you only need the first 5 digits because that's the firm SAMS ID, so only the first 5. So once you've done that, the only last thing is that you need to be putting in the name of the broker. And in this case, this guy is called James Regan. Nothing to do with the Sweeney. Now I'm going to have a conversation with James in which we're going to agree that since this is the first meeting that we're going to have, it's going to be mostly an introduction. So brief notes down here. Spoke with James and agreed first meeting. Now, as it happens, I tend to keep open at the bottom of my screens my Word template for a first initial meeting. So what I can and frequently do is I will highlight that template, I'll copy it, and I will drop it in to this box. So all of that information is now in that box. Now, the next thing you want to do, because you've booked a meeting, an ESV, is to turn this event into an ESV event. Rather than pushing the save button, push the save and new event button. You'll then notice that the information that you put into the location box is still in the location box. You haven't had to do it again. You can then create the ESV, plan for the future on whatever date that happens to be. You can cut and paste your agenda into that bottom box, and then you can save it. Once saved, you scroll down on that client's individual card and you'll see that that ESV is now booked as an open activity for the future. To get it into your Outlook diary, press ESV and it opens this page up. You'll notice there's that agenda already recorded into it. And then you press the Add to Outlook button. Now, because I'm doing this on my home PC, not on the cooperative laptop, in order to be able to show you these stages, what I've got are a couple of documents down here, which are just screenshots from what it will actually look like if you're doing it on your company PC. You will get a screen that looks like this, which is making the link between Salesforce and Outlook. And you need to push the Open button in order to take you through to the next screen, which is this one. And this screen shows you a meeting that you are booking within Outlook. And it gives you, as you can see, all that information that I put in as the agenda that was dropped into the boxes that you saw previously. By all means, at this stage, you might want to change the subject matter from ESV to something that's a bit more meaningful for your broker. And also, if you click the Invite Attendees button, it will drop in a new line up here above the subject. For attendees, you type in the email address of the person that you're having the meeting with, and that allows you to then save and close, and it will drop that meeting into your Outlook diary, and it will always have this information recorded in it so that you can get the information that the business needs to be able to see. And once you've done all of that and you've added it to Outlook, you'll just press save. Now, as I said previously, I can't do that here because I'm not within the company computer system. Now, you'll notice that once you've typed this information in once, it will always appear in this box. So when you are looking at a visit that you've made or a previous account that you've made, you'll always have this information in there. Now, what I'm also suggesting is when you come to book further meetings with individuals that you've already had meetings with, what you may have done in the past is press the New Event button. If you do that, you'll need to type all the information into the box again. If you press Edit and then you save a new event, and it doesn't matter what event it is you're doing this for, if you're doing an IBC field call, or if you're doing a follow-up to something else, if you edit an existing entry rather than starting a new entry, each time you do that, the information that's in the location box will automatically be copied over. Saves you an awful lot of time and effort. Now, as I said, it is different when you do this on the iPad, and there are certain restrictions to what we can and can't do on the iPad, frequently driven by the fact that, of course, we don't have the Outlook connection. But as long as you get to this page, put the information in as you need to, invite the attendees, you'll find that will drop into your diary quite cleanly. And remember, just this little tip about having two versions of Salesforce open. If there is data that you haven't got immediately in front of you, that you think when you get to this page where you're trying to put in their email address and you just haven't got their email address to hand because it's all within Salesforce and you can't see it, if you're in here, you can highlight their email address at this point. You can go back to the booking page, and when you invite attendees, you can control and drop it straight in there. So it makes it very, very simple. Hope that's pretty straightforward, and I hope that makes it a little bit easier for you to achieve all that you want to in terms of record keeping. Thanks.